All right, so let's not mess around. Let's get straight into what we are up to this week. So basically what I want to do this week, it's a carry on from you guys would have watched, well, hopefully you've watched it. If not, go back and watch it. It's the video where I put two bottom ends together, a Timken and a flat roller. Now, I'll just show you the differences between the two motors and everything. So now I need to finish off these two motors. So you would have seen last week's we put Ben's motor together, got that all finished up. So now I need to put Sam's motor together and get that all finished up. So first things first, this is a 1954 FL. So 54 is the last year of our flat roller. After that, it goes to a Timken, which you would have learnt in the last video. So I was doing some reading the other day, and a 54 is actually a very rare year. 54 is one of the lowest production pan years there was. So there's not many of these 54s. They're actually pretty rare. So anyway, I got the 54, all the bottom end rebuilt in that last video. So now I need to go through and get all the heads done. So all the heads have been all done, new valves, new guides, new everything in these things. I put new exhaust spigots on them as well because the other ones were all fucked up. They get fucked up pretty badly. So basically I need to go through and just completely fit this motor out. So as always, as the last video you saw, I'm going to go through, use these thick head gaskets, these thick rocker gaskets again. Like I said in the last episode, I feel like I'm repeating myself because I've only just done it here, but it's a couple of weeks apart for you guys. But if you have any sort of lift in your cam, so this push rod pushes your rocker any higher than factory, you run into your rocker hitting your tin that goes over here. So I had that problem with Ben's motor. Even they put these little cross drill lists for the little hole in the rocker like Ben's. I've gone through and soldered them all up. So I have blocked off the end oiling of the rockets so that we have more oil pressure. This thing also has hydraulic lifters, just like Ben's. So where was I going with that? So that's all been done on these heads. I have the rockers bolted down, all ready to go. So just like Ben's, this is where I was going with this, they have a little weld on the end, and sometimes that's bigger on some rockers, and that'll come up and hit the tin. So what we do to stop that, we run these 1/8-inch thick rocker cover spacers just to space that tin up a bit, so we can always go a bigger cam in the future or we want, or we just want to be safe and make sure this thing doesn't fucking hit. So anyway, I have all that sorted. I have the tins. I had to glue the felt in the tins. Remember on, I don't know if I filmed it actually, a lot of the time you see you pull some old heads apart and the felt that's glued to the top of the tins just fallen down. Someone's done a shit job of that or just used shit glue. I'm going through and gluing some tins. I wonder if you can see them just there. See, I have the tins there, and then I have bricks on top of them to hold it down so that the felt gets a really good stick. So that's something you can do with your tin. So I'm going to wait for that to dry. Then when that's dry, we'll come back and start putting all these tins together. All the fucking rocker boxes, all that shit. Start slapping it together, but I'll just time lapse that. You guys saw it in the last video anyway. Righto, so I got all my heads sorted out here. Just like Ben's, I went through and gooed both sides of my gasket. Just because if these things leak, you're pretty well fucked. You got to pull the heads off this thing again or pull the motor out of the frame. So you want to make sure these things do not leak. Panheads are renowned for leaking too, so give them the best chance possible. Clean everything up with brake cleaner, fill it all with a bit of goo, and see it later. So anyway, they're all sorted out, ready to go. I am ready to put them on the engine now. I've just gone through, got my hardware ready. So I went through and put some anti-seize on that, high temp anti-seize as usual. If you've ever had to cut a bolt out of the head while it's in the barrels, you know how much of a pain in the ass that is. So I'm gonna go through and bolt this thing on. As usual, we wanna get all the bolts in both heads because they do a bit of knock back and forth. Get your manifold ready and then stick that in there before you lock the heads down, just so you can give them a bit of tweak in any direction to make that manifold line up a bit better. They are renowned for intake leaks, so give it the best chance possible by lining up the intake before you lock it down. So I'll just go through, time lapse this. We will get these heads bolted on, and then we'll get through to some push rods. I got some nice Jim's fucking push rods for this thing, so nice alloy ones, so they are gonna work fucking awesome to go with our Jim's lifters. So let's get into it. Righto, so that's all the heads slapped on, good to go. I'm not sure if you guys could see, but in the time lapse, I had to move these heads just a little bit to make this line up nicely. It was like fucking cocked over here. So lining the heads up actually makes a big difference. Makes them line up so much nicer. But all this is starting to look fucking really nice. So this is sort of home stretch here, I suppose. I'm going to go through. I have new set of push rods and all that sort of stuff. New push rods, tubes, everything to go on this thing. So once again, I'm just going to go through, time lapse this. I've showed you how to set up hydraulic push rods a million times. Basically, you just on base lobe find the no lash so the thing doesn't move up and down, and then read your little sheet and it'll tell you how many turns down from no lash. Usually 3 or 4, but depending on what thread you have on the ends. So I'm going to go through, get all that done, and hopefully when we come back, this thing will be pretty well sorted out. I went through and just sort of reconditioned the timer and all that, painted it all nice and black too. So I'm going to sit that in there, make it all look super nice. I might even turn it over, find the right spot, slap it in there, and then I can just do fine adjustment when I get this thing sorted. I really want to run this thing on a bench when I get my bench made, but Sam said he needed to come pick that up somewhere this month. So hopefully I get a bench done and I can heat test this thing on my bench, heat cycle this thing on my bench before he comes. So you probably saw this is a weird looking 2-bolt intake. Sam actually runs a CV carburetor on this thing. So CVs are fucking awesome carburetors. These things run so well with them. Just they are a bit ugly, and that's why I don't run one on my pan. That's why I got the Lincoln. But I'm going to settle this up for him. If I get on the run bench, I don't have his CV, but I do have a spare. So I'll just put one of mine on there, jet it pretty close, just so I can sort of heat cycle this thing, make sure the timing's all dialed in, so that he can just chuck it in his bike and basically get to do some run-in miles. So let's freaking get all these push rods in. All right, so it is a few days later now. I have this motor all finished up now. So everything's buttoned up here. All my push rods are set now. They were just some Jim's hydraulic push rods. They just get them no lash and then extend them 3.5 turns, and they are all sorted. All brand new push rods here, so push rod tubes, so they look all mad as well. My little fancied up distributor here, I put a new little wire cap on it because he had a weird one that he's made by the looks. But this thing has turned out fucking schmick. Cannot complain how nice this thing turned out. So basically, like I said, I want to run this thing. So Sam lives up north, up in Townsville or something, Cairns or something like that. So I want to go through and heat cycle this thing, make sure it's running properly before he gets it and drives it all the way up there. So basically, I was talking about a test bench. Now, I am still in the process of building said test bench. Here's the start of it. So basically, this is still a work in progress, so I'm not going to do anything with this yet. Got to wait on my buddy Joel. We need to bend up some stuff, make a little drip tray, but I'm not going to be able to do that before Sam gets here. So what I'm going to do, I've got my buddy Bishop's Panhead here. I need to pull this motor out, and it is an early shaft drive, taper drive setup, I should say. Early taper drive setup as well. This is a running unit, so I'm going to pull this motor out, put that one in quickly just to heat cycle it. So Bishop's coming to pick up his roller today. So I'm going to pull his motor out, put that one in, and just heat cycle this thing. So I'm just going to fucking get cracking on this thing, pull this thing apart, get that motor in there. And then when you come back, hopefully I've got the motor in there pretty well set up. Like I said, I don't have the CV for it. So I'm just going to have to go through, set this up, and then grab a CV out of my pile and set that up, set the timing, and then hopefully run this thing. So let's fucking get cracking. All right, so I have Sam's motor in here now. You can see the difference. Nice, shiny, new guy. The exhaust spigots are brand new. And over the years, obviously the original exhaust spigots have been crushed, so they don't fit very well, but I only need to heat cycle this thing. So this was a brand new exhaust, it had slipped right on, but obviously during the years, the original spigots get smaller and smaller, the more that the exhaust rubs on it and the more the clamp clamps it and crushes it. So that is it for now. So like I said, brand new motor in. I have put the carb mount on there. Like I said, this is running a CV. I have to get one of them out of the box yet, but I have his manifold on, have all the primary side hooked up, all the belt hooked up. I'm just doing the timing now. So front cylinder's on compression stroke. I'm just going to find my advance mark because that's an early style dizzy. Find the advance mark, and I'm going to set up the timing, and then we're going to be good to start this thing. I'm going to run external oil bag. I think I'm going to use the oil bag that I'm going to use for the test bench. I'm just going to rig it up on the side just because Bishop has hard lines for this and Sam's motor has rubber lines. Not to mention Bishop's motor had an issue, so I don't exactly want to run his oil bag in case I put shit in my brand new motor. So I've just cleaned out the run stand oil bag, so that thing is perfectly squeaky clean. It's going to be perfect for this thing. So basically next, I'm just going to go through, set all the timing, set up all the oil lines, and then when we come back, we're going to be ready to start this thing. Oh, that's right, I've got to get my carbs sorted too, but when we come back, I'm going to be starting this thing. Righto, let's do a bit of a walk around. So I've got this thing all set up now. I'll be honest, I have kicked this thing and it has fired on me. So I'm ready to go through and give this thing a good run now. So to start with, I have all my oil lines set up. I have just my test light onto the end of my oil sender. So no oil pressure means light on. So when I start this thing, I can stick that on. If it doesn't come on, I know we've got good oil pressure. Now this thing is a hydraulic lifter motor, so it should be pretty easy to hear when this thing's got oil pressure. The lifters will shut up. So I don't think I mentioned this. There was an issue with Luke's engine, so I didn't want to run his oil bag, and he had hard lines. So I've rigged up the oil bag. I did say this now that I mention it. Rigged up the oil bag off my test bench, have her set up here, little on off, make sure that comes on. And then return, feed, vent, whatever, all set up, all the belts set up. Just have my cables here, make sure that doesn't get caught around the belt. That will be absolute nightmare. That's a brand new test light. So pretty well ready to go here. So I'm going to set this thing up in my trusty little stand there, and we are going to get going. Just going to make sure to turn the fuel on. So I'll set this up and then we'll come back and run this thing. Alright, let's see what this thing does. So I don't have an accelerator, I just got it with my hand. So So we're gonna see how my freaking hand goes. Keys up here, couple of primes. Good compression this thing. Alright, key on. How good's that? Thing runs a treat. The only thing is you can see it coughing. It's in a lean state. I couldn't, I got a bag of jets somewhere that I can't find. It's got a pretty small jet in our carby here, but that's not going to hurt it for just heat cycling it the way we are. So I'm just going to go to the air idle, give it a bit more fuel and see how it goes. But that's pretty good. Can't complain about that. So I'm going to go through heat cycle this thing now. So I have a whole video on doing this if you want to go back and watch it. Basically, it's 10 seconds of running like that. That was probably a bit long. I just wanted to make sure everything was right. Your first time, it doesn't matter if you run it a bit longer, as long as all your vitals are good. You've got oil pressure, you're not leaking anywhere, it's all good. So you want to do 10 seconds 4 times, and then you want to do 20 seconds another 4 times, and then it's like 30 seconds 3 times, and then 90 seconds 2 times, and then that's pretty well your heat cycle done. You want to make sure this thing is stone cold in between cycles. So I'm going to put a fan on this thing, come back in another half an hour or something's usually all it takes, and then start it up, do the same thing again. Alright, so motor is all heat cycled out of the frame now, all good to go. I've got this thing here, I'm just giving it a quick polish. Sam will be here in the next hour or something to pick his motor up. Here's his gearbox as well. Did a full motor and gearbox rebuild on his 54 Panhead and gearbox here. So that is looking freaking unreal. So that is pretty well it for this episode. I really want to get my test bench sorted, but obviously I've got 100 million other things to do at the same time. So I am in motions of getting that done. I just need my buddy Joel, if you're watching this, I need him to cut me some stuff to finish off the bench, and then I can finally put the thing together and test engines a bit easier. Putting them in a frame like that with all the oil lines and everything and kickstarting it is super annoying and super time consuming. If I just had the thing on the bench, I can just set it up, push start, and start the things with a electronic start, with a starter motor, and away it goes. So that is it for this episode. As I said, if you guys want to support the channel a bit, you can head over, buy a shirt, buy some merch, buy any of that shit. Or if you can't be bothered, fair enough, just like, comment, or subscribe on this video. Really helps me, get a bit of traction, get some more people watching it, and really helps build the channel. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next week.